Just kidding. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Experiencing Infdev Plus. As you can tell, in this new episode I will be finally speaking. Truth to be told, I'm not a very good speaker, and I'm not sure if this will increase the quality of this video, but hopefully we will, and hopefully I will get better at speaking as time goes on, so we'll be able to see my personal growth in this. Anyway, this isn't particularly important. Like, did the cow just die? Oh, never mind. Anyway, moving on to Infdev Plus. In this episode, I would like to focus on my base and expanding it for 0.4. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in my previous episodes, but when it comes to this series, I plan to expand my base with every major release. So, as you can tell, this part of the base was made in 0.1. More, more specifically, it was made in the dev builds of 0.1. Anyway, we got these rooms. This one is kitchen, even if it's not kitchen. It's sort of like dining hall, entrance hall, not sure what would you call it. Then there's this hallway, and the only part of this hallway was actually built in 0.1, which is from here all the way over here. Anyway, next part, which was built in 0.1, is this library and this small storage space. There isn't much to show for it. Moving on, here we have a bigger storage space which was built in 0.2. The whole second floor of this space, or well, first floor if you count. Or is it? Wait, sorry for the fumble. What I meant to say is that some of you might call this the first floor, and the thing below this would be the ground floor. Wait, that is important. The next thing I'm going to be showing you is this floor of the space, which I built in 0.2. So, there's a corridor that you can go through. This corridor also connects over a balcony, so you can look out. So you can look out over here and look at the scenery. I've got a bunch of cherry trees planted here because I'm farming them for some wood to use for building. Anyway, for this corridor you can access the bathroom with the toilet and sink. And here we have my bedroom. There isn't much to talk about my bedroom, I would say, just normal bedroom. The only important thing here is this corner serves as a balcony, and I can listen to the music made by 756. Anyway, next up, here I have a closet of sorts where I can store some important stuff. Moving on with my base. Here we have the part which was built in 0.3. This corridor serves to continue the corridor that was made in 0.1. My base has got multiple entrances for which you can access them. This is one of them. This way you can get the back. This corridor. Anyway, I feel like I'm having quite some trouble speaking actually, but I will continue to press on and hopefully I will make something good. Anyway, from this corridor, one of the things that you can access is this thing, which is meant to be like a model of an Infdev Plus world. It's meant to represent the biomes that were added in version 0.3 because, as I said, this part of the space was built in 0.3, so I wanted to represent 0.3 somehow. One of the things that you might notice is that this part of the base is no longer made of oak wood. Instead, this corridor is made of maple wood. As we go here, you can see that there is another entrance to the model of this base. Here is a staircase for which you can access the 0.4 part of the 0.4 part of this base. I decided to make it a bit more than just a regular staircase and made a sitting area over here. There's a sitting area over here, but this is important right now. What I want to show you is more of this part of the base, which is built in 0.3. As you can see, I've got a big flower as a decoration. I decided because I think that big flowers are cool. So I also have got much to say. Anyway, I feel like I'm having quite some trouble speaking actually, but I will continue to press on and hopefully I will make something good. Anyway, from this corridor, one of the things that you can access is this thing, which is meant to be like a model of an Infdev Plus world. It's meant to represent the biomes that were added in version 0.3 because, as I said, this part of the space was built in 0.3, so I wanted to represent 0.3 somehow. One of the things that you might notice is that this part of the base is no longer made of oak wood. Instead, this corridor is made of maple wood. Here, you can see that there is another entrance to the model of this base. Here is a staircase for which you can access the 0.4 part of the 0.4 part of this base. I decided to make it a bit more than just a regular staircase and made a sitting area over here. There's a sitting area over here, but this is important right now. What I want to show you is more of this part of the base, which is built in 0.3. As you can see, I've got a big flower as a decoration. I decided because I think that big flowers are cool. So I also have got much to say. To collect them, I use this cactus, which gets randomly popped off, and when it gets popped off, it's let me place it up here. When it gets popped off, it activates this detector, which activates this generator, which activates these pistons, which push the melons and pumpkins so they get collected. I got a bit lost, but here we are. Here are the collectors that collect the melons and pumpkins. Anyway, I'm really not very good at describing these kind of things, so moving on. We have the 0.4 area, which is currently under construction. As you can tell, I'm still missing the ceiling over here, and anyway, as you can tell, I'm still getting the hang of this all recording thing. I'm not really sure what to talk about and stuff like that. Anyway, here we have a corridor leading from the zero point 0.4 part of the base and leading all the way back to the zero point 0.2 part of the base, which is like second floor of this base. Going through here, this area that we'll build later. I will now focus on the parts that I've already built. So here we have a continuation of the farm. I haven't yet planted things here because there is a problem with the cotton. The problem is that when you harvest the cotton, you don't get enough seeds so that it would be so that it will be sustainable. So I can't really farm cotton all that well. Here we have another bathroom. I decided to make a bathroom out of some expensive materials as kind of a joke. I don't know, I just can't find it kind of funny. I got a toilet here, sink, some shelves, a shower, and some paintings, because why wouldn't you have a paintings in your bathroom? Anyway, this big over here will be storage space, hopefully, in the future. I don't plan on finishing it right now, I will just finish it whenever. Another thing that I built for 0.4 is this alchemy space, this alchemy room, which I plan on using for alchemy, for brewing and stuff. So here I have some chests prepared for all of the further ingredients. I haven't yet placed all the ingredients in their item frames because I don't have much of them. There are some sub-chests prepared for the potions that I might be making in the future. Who knows? Anyway, sorry for the frequent because I'm just not very good at this. Anyway, moving on. Now that I've shown kind of the rooms that I have finished, I want to talk about the things that I want to do in the future, or in this episode. I would like to build these rooms in this episode and talk about things that I want to do in the future. So, the first room that I would like to do is this room. I like to make this sort of collection room where I put my special items which I get from the various temples of this page and just, put some other kind of items in here. For here would be like another sort of entrance hall, kind of like the one I have, here, which I made in 0.4, 0.3, this sort of entrance hall. And when it comes to the material that I plan to build out of, I plan to build this thing probably out of acacia wood, and this thing will be made of the mahogany wood, which is red. Not sure if I pronounce it correctly. Anyway, here we have a corridor which is entirely made of cherry wood. I decided to make it this way because, pink is a manly color. Then we have this thing. As you can tell, my base is getting kind of big, and traveling across it is kind of tedious, so I'm planning on building some rails to help me travel from different points in the base. So this will be one of the points that you will be able to access using the rails. Anyway, this corridor currently leads into a stone wall, but I plan to use this as a way to to access new area of the base, which I plan to build in 0.6. And this thing will be a staircase, which will be used to access the area of the base, which I plan on building in 0.5. Anyway, you might be asking what this place will be for. This will be a sort of joke. I don't know if you've seen like this picture where you have a picture of the hotel lobby, where you have the entrance and like an inaccessible seating area. This will be basically it. You have basically a staircase and an accessible seating area. It's a joke because I don't really know what to use this space for. I just want to use it. And this space I like want to use because I cannot really think of anything. Maybe in the future I will use it. Who knows? Anyway, once I finish recording this thing, I plan on continue expanding my base. But before that, there is one last thing that I would like to talk about, which are the items that I plan to put into this collection room. I've got these items stored in my bedroom, where I have my important things. So here are some of the items. I'll explain why these items are important. First, we've got these stairs. I actually obtained these stairs in 0.4 because when building, I somehow managed to get some oak stairs with strange metadata values, which in 0.2, 0.3 turned into these stairs. Then I got these trapdoors. Unfortunately, I can't hover my mouse over these trapdoors because if I would, my game would crash. That is because these trapdoors have got some strange metadata values, which I got when upside down trapdoors were introduced. Because when you mine those upside down trapdoors, you got wrong metadata value instead of the metadata value of 0. Then we have got this chest. So these logs are really unobtainable. The reason that they are here is more of a memento, because in the dev builds of 0.3 there was a bug that when you had a lock in your offhand and a tool in your main hand and you placed the lock, then the metadata of the lock depended on the damage value of the tool that you were holding. So these pickaxes are ready to sort of represent what sort of for transmutation, because you could use this bug for transmutation. So you can use this pickaxe to scorch logs, this pickaxe to bulb logs, and so on. Next we have this bow, which is a main bow which you can't obtain anymore in 0.4. This is my first gun level. This is a hoe that I got in the build of 0.1. The reason why it is special is because in the dev build, the durability of golden hoes was actually 1024. So what I did was I used the hoe until it had more than 512 damage. So that in 0.1 I would have a hoe with negative durability. Then this pick is just a memento. Here we have some seeds with strange metadata, and the same goes for gems and the tiki torch. This got metadata value of 1 because of big block. Anyway, the last thing that I want to show you is over there, which is my Dupe stash of sorts. I don't really use it, because it's in the dev builds of 0.1 there was a Dupe pack, so I decided to use it and build like dupe room. It's just like a room but only made out of things that I duped and really used those items. But I do have got like some coal blocks prepared there in case that I ever need like a lot of coal for whatever reason. But so far I haven't used the dupe items. Anyway, here's the entrance. The entrance is currently exposed because I already recorded this part, but the audio didn't record, so I'm currently recording it. As you can see, I've got some cobble blocks prepared in case I need them in the future. I've got some more behind the wall, but I haven't used much of them. Here we have some of the items all the items that I duped in that version. All of these are 0 stacks, meaning they got stack size of 0. Anyway, this is all I wanted to show you. Next up, I will start building, and once I build something, I will show you what I built, and yeah, moving on. I'm back. Anyway, I decided to build all the things off camera without showing it in the end. So I'm now going to show what I have built. So, the reason why I'm here is because one of the things I built is here. It's a storage area for all the different wooden things. So here we have, for example, like oak stuff, oak fences, stairs, signs. Here we have acacia stuff, acacia planks, acacia stairs and stuff. The reason being is that I want to keep all the wooden stuff near me because I usually stay here, and this chest, which is for all the wooden stuff and paintings and stuff, because this chest is kind of getting filled up, so I built that area. And anyway, moving on, I'll get there using this basement. So, one of the things I built is this thing, which serves as a sort of station, so you can travel around the house. As you might be able to tell, I've got an extra pack which changes like the texture of windows and some of the new paintings. Anyway, one of the things I built is this hallway. I think it looks kind of nice. So, there are a few areas, few rooms you can access using this hallway. One of this is this thing. It's not used for anything, but who knows, maybe in the future I will use it. Next up, this thing. It's my collection area for all the memorable things and unobtainable things. So, you've got this, for example. I haven't yet transported the trapdoors that I talked about, but I will transport them later. You also have a book and quill in all of these chests, which describes like what the item is, original and obtained means of obtaining. There are two new items that I added to this place in this new, because one of those being this cotton plant. The reason why I added this is because in version 0.5 there is a bug fixed, because before that, when you fertilize the cotton plant would get meta rate of 7, which is fixed. So now if you fertilize it, it gets only meta rate 7. So this cotton plant will be unobtainable in version 0.5. And this triple chest, this bug, well, this bug is also fixed in version 0.5. The way I did it is using snow layers. It's the same bug as the other bug that is like the old versions of Minecraft. Anyway, the last thing in here that I built is this. I call it the Crimson Hall. It's made of mahogany wood. I think it turned out well. Here you have a sort of kitchen area, dining table, and here we have an apple tree. This is an apple tree which grew in version 0.1 in one of the builds. This was back when apple trees still grew in the same shape as the oak trees. So I decided to keep it because you can't get them naturally. The only way to get them now would be to build them. Anyway, that is all of the new things that I built. I want to show you. The last thing I'll probably do is show this from outside. I think this place turned out really well. And if we go around here, we can see the other part that I have built. The reason why cobblestone is there because I sort of cut back the mountains. Well, not mountains, more of a hill. The reason why I did it is because the animals kept trampling my crops, or the farmland that was here. So I did that to stop that. Anyway, that should be all for this episode. Almost all for this episode. There's one last thing that I want to show you. The thing is that I wanted this episode to have some more things, but I decided not to because a preview of version 0.5 came out. So there are a bunch of things that got added. One of the things that got added were these things. Unfortunately, these aren't obtainable in survival, so I decided to cheat them in. So, of course, I'm not going to use them. These are just to show them off in this episode. Anyway, one of the things that I got added is this book, which shows the description of an item, and it also shows like which recipes can the item be used in and how to craft it. So I'll use this torch as an example. Here you can see it gives description. The crafting recipe can be used in its crafting recipe. For some reason this recipe is here twice. I wonder why. Anyway, you can also get, as I said, it contains descriptions of all the items that are in the game. Anyway, this herbalist pouch can be used for this herbalist pouch is that when you right click it, you get like a bunch of items. You can also get like flowers and stuff and brewing ingredients. There is Gabriel's wand, which works kind of like ender pearls in modern MC. It teleports you to the place where you throw it. Anyway, that will be it. The very last thing that I want to show is this. So I have finished digging this hole, which maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but this hole is underneath the tower that I built, and the hole underneath it extends almost to bedrock. So I think there's anything else that I want to talk about, so this will be the end of the episode. As always, I will end it by jumping into Royal. This also means that I will get rid of the items which I obtained by cheating. So, see you.